And a very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the Turning Point for ITN Sri Lanka. And we bring you a variety of guests, all very important and all very important in the sense that they have something important to say. And when people who have important things want to say something, they come here on ITN Sri Lanka. And today is no different. Today our guest is the Secretary of the All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Union. And he's right here with us to talk about some important developments in that industry. He's right here, Mr. Rahuman Palli. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being on the program.
Yes.
Tell me, you're the Secretary of the All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Union. How many members do you have?
We are having around 5,000 members all over the island, sir.
All over the island?
Yeah.
And Mr. Rahman, how do they become members?
The first qualification, they should have a valid driving license.
Okay.
And then the second thing is we are always looking for the people who are doing their job as a professional. That is a full-time drivers. We are taking as them members of our association.
Not part-time?
Not part-timers.
Right. And how much does it cost them?
For the admission, we are charging about 200 rupees presently.
Yeah.
Not any membership fees still, but in the future it may be changed.
Right. So you have 5,000 members,
yes, sir,
all over the island. But tell me, what's important about you coming on this program today? There's something that's happened. What has happened?
Yes. The thing is, for the last 21 years, we tried to have a regulation on our industry. For that, about 4 provinces has published their gazettes. That means Western Province, Southern Province, North Central, and the Eastern Province. They had published some kind of regulation, but other 5 provinces haven't done anything. For that, in that regard, for the National Transport Commission doesn't have any powers to regulate three-wheel or whatever other kind of transport modes. Only they have the power for the bus regulation only. For that, for the past 21 years, they have tried to get some amendments for their act. It was floated between the Attorney General Department and the Transport Ministry. Recently, we got opportunity to inform the President and the Presidential Secretary regarding this one.
Yeah.
After that, we informed that. Actually, for the last 21 years, we couldn't get that thing to done. After the President got the information regarding this this matter, because this gazette.
This President.
This President, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Yeah.
We have to mention him by his name. After he's got information regarding this, because this gazette was already approved in the cabinet.
Right.
But still they haven't published this one. After that, he got the information through us. He instructed them, and within 24 hours, that means 28th of August, this act was, the amendment act was published as a gazette.
Right. And when you are a three-wheel driver,
yes, sir,
and you get your business,
yeah,
you can get your business either directly or these days with one of 2 other services,
yes, sir,
through online. I don't want to mention their names, but everybody knows what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Which is better for you as a three-wheel driver? Are you a three-wheel driver yourself?
Yes,
right.
I am a three-wheel driver. I am my stand that actually the operating. I am operating from WC Lamawata, Colombo 6.
Right.
That's my location.
Right.
I am operating for the.
You become very famous tomorrow morning after
definitely,
this program.
sir. I hope that.
Yes.
Personally, I am not like to earning through that app services.
App services. Okay.
The thing is, because we have to pay between 15 to 25% for them, the whatever that we are earning.
Right. Okay.
For in that regard, I am not like to pay some other person through my blood and sweat.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
For the road hiring, the thing is which I personally am doing.
And you know, your union, do you have a welfare association?
We operated some insurance policies for our members till 2017. The reluctant and the way people are thinking, which was caused to stop that beneficiary insurance policies.
I see. Okay, so that didn't sort of go there.
Yeah. So,
but it's amazing, isn't it, that it took so long, and then one man, namely President Vikram Singh,
yes, sir.
managed to do it within
24
a
hours.
week?
Yeah. Within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours.
Because already this act was approved in the cabinet.
Yeah.
It just kept in there.
Right.
They haven't published this one.
Now, you know that we are having a terrible time economically.
Yes,
you
sir.
must know that. I know
Yes.
that. All the cameramen here, they know that.
Yes.
In the control room, everyone knows this. Therefore, I'm going to ask you this question. How much do you think you earn on average per day?
For me personally, if you take it, I am working from 8:30 to till 3 o'clock.
Okay.
I am earning minimum of 3,500 per day.
Right.
If you deduct the fuel cost, I am having a saving around 2,500 per day.
You have a good life because you're only working from 8:30 to 3. We
Yes,
work
sir.
from 8:30 to 6.
Yes, sir.
So you're lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And who do you thank for that, for being lucky?
The thing is, if you took last 2 years,
Yeah.
before the 2 years go, we haven't earned a penny in a day because
okay.
we doesn't have fuel.
Right.
We can't ride in the roads.
Yeah.
We can't like that. But presently, we are very thankful for the way the economy has recovered. That has helped the people who are traveling with us. Even though the prices are a bit higher,
Yeah.
but we are still okay. The way we are earning, we are hope in the next 2 years we may earn more than the amount which we are earning presently.
Now, you know that the government is they don't have enough money.
Yes, sir.
So do you pay taxes? Are you getting ready to pay taxes?
The thing is, we are ready to pay taxes. The thing is how they are going to collect the tax from us,
Yeah.
and the way they introduced to collect the tax, it's a bit confused for the people. Because I am having a unique ID because I can't make my ID numbers change. I can't change it.
Yeah.
At least they should have for the tax list my ID card. It should have done the way when they are introduced that particular system. After about 6 months, they introduced that system. We are saying we are ready to pay the income tax.
Yeah.
But the way, if you collect tax from us, what are you going to repay? How you are going to refund or whatever the beneficiary we are going to get?
You're going to get?
We are going to get it.
So what kind of benefits would you like to see? Would you like better roads? Would you like cheaper prices of spare parts? What do you want to see?
The main thing is cheaper price of spare parts. The first thing. The second thing is we should have a insurance policy for the whole.
Right.
Most of the people who are traveling abroad, they are saying all the countries have a welfare system which includes a insurance policy. But in Sri Lanka, even you can't have a group policy unless you have about 100 to 500 persons.
So what kind of insurance do the three-wheel drivers in your union have?
Yeah. Earlier we had an insurance policy which is paying for the PAB, personal accident.
Yeah.
If it's accident cover, they had natural death and hospitalization, which should be included their family members. That means spouse and children.
Then what about public liability? What about me if I'm traveling in your three-wheeler and something happens?
Presently, there is no law saying that the vehicle which you are traveling should be comprehensively insured. Most of the vehicles which are operating in Sri Lanka, presently I am saying, vehicles, three-wheelers are operating in Sri Lanka unless they are having leasing, those are having only third-party insurance.
Oh, I see.
We are saying it must not be happen.
Yes.
If we are providing a public transport, we should have a comprehensive insurance.
So what you're saying, Mr. Rahuman, is that there is no legal requirement to have public liability insurance.
Yes.
You have these other insurances,
Yes.
but not
for the vehicle.
Not for the passengers.
Passengers, no.
Right.
Presently, there's no. But even if you take a comprehensive insurance, they are only paying for the vehicle and for the passenger only rupees 15,000. What you are going to? You can't buy a casket over here. It will cost about 100,000.
Okay, point taken. What about the safety mechanism
Yes.
For passengers. Let's say a lady traveling in the evening after work or something like that, at odd time. What sort of safety mechanism do you all have?
I am sorry to say this one. There's no any mechanism or not even regulation to protect the people who are going in a three-wheeler. But as a professional three-wheeler driver, if you are traveling in with a professional three-wheeler driver, you are in a safe hand. But you can't guarantee it when you are stopping a three-wheeler in the road, whether you don't know whether he is a professional driver or not, whether he is a part-time driver or just he is going to home. Now, you can't identify the person.
Now, when we're in Thailand, I noticed that they have a photograph displayed prominently in the tuk-tuk or in the car, wherever. The photograph of that person, the registration number, and some sort of hotline that you can call. Do you have anything like that?
In the papers, there are so many regulations. If you take the Western Province Transport Authority has published that regulation in 2021, saying that you should register it with the Transport Authority.
Yeah.
If you register, they will display those things, but it is not implemented still. That's the problem. We are saying
who should be the implementing authority?
For the Western Province, there is a Western Province Transport Authority. In the future, the National Transport Commission also has the same powers. Then they can implement that one.
Right. Why do you think they're not doing that? Are they being influenced? Are they being lobbied to not do it? What do you think?
After the 2015, as a person, as a union, we are thinking most of the businessmen has lobbied, because if they are unregulated, they can do whatever the things they want in that sector. If it regulated, there's in the act also saying you can employ the vehicle, then you can provide the service, whatever the vehicle which is registered in the regulated body only. If it's not implemented, the businessmen have a say on that unregulated market.
And what about a mechanism, Mr. Rahuman Palli, to limit the number of hours that somebody can work? Because obviously the longer you spend on the road, you'll get tired, and your temper might get frayed and so on. Do you have any form of ideas, plans to introduce a limit on the hours?
Yes. If you take it as a regulation body, usually they are saying the person shouldn't work more than 18 hours. It's a law. Then we are saying that you should implement the regulation which was published, and you should introduce new regulation for the benefit of the drivers and community also.
I've heard often these people say that we need the country, Sri Lanka needs to adapt and adopt new ideas to move forward. On that note, let's go for a quick break. This is the Turning Point for ITN Sri Lanka with Mr. Rahuman Palli, who's the Secretary of the All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Association. Let's see on the other side of the break, shall we?
Nava best ever sunlight. පෙරටත් වඩා සුවඳක් සමගින් සුපිරි සේදුමක්.
වීව එකතුණු උකුතේ එකක
රස උපරිමයි.
ලක්ස් කියන්නේ සබන් ගැටයක් විතරක් නෙවෙයි, සමට සත්කාරයක්. නව ලක්ස්.
තැපෑලට චන්දකාර අලු කළ දුම් පැටි නාමල්ගෙන් දියුණු රටක් බංකොලොත් වන ඇමරිකාව දෙස් විදෙස් පුවත් රසක් සමගින් හමුවමු සවස 6:30 අපගේ ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති විකාශයත් සමගින්
ගුණ පරපුරක සහතිකය ඇංක
And welcome back to the Turning Point for ITN Sri Lanka. I'm in conversation this evening with the Secretary of the All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Association, Mr. Rahuman Palli. Thank you again for being on the program, Mr. Rahuman. I just want to ask you, on average, 350,000 students enter the education system. At the end of that system, when it's time to go to university, there's only around, give or take a little bit, 35,000. There's another 115,000 doing the tertiary education kind of thing, like the German tech, that kind of thing. Okay. And so there's 200,000. There's 115 plus 35, you know, plus 150. So there's about 200,000 children who've finished, and they seem to be tracked out. What do you feel about that? And then when people say, oh, well, you know, they all become three-wheel drivers. Is that fair? Is it unfair?
It's not only fair. It is a false statement.
It's untrue.
Unsure. It's a false statement because if you take from 1978 till 2021, on the RMV you can go and check with that RMV website. Three-wheelers are registered, about 1.28 million three-wheelers are registered from 1978 to 2021.
Right.
If you go back for about 5 years, that means from 2018 to 2023, for the 5 years. As you mentioned, the out-of-track people students are around 200,000. That means for the last 5 years, it should be 1 million students are out of track.
Right.
If you counted that one, then the number of vehicles in Sri Lanka, that number of three-wheelers in Sri Lanka, it should be over 5 million. But still from 1978, the number of three-wheelers are 1.28 million.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
I am not saying you just go and check with the website, you can see that 1.28 million. Then if you take 5 years, 1 million children has been out of the track. Then what happened to them? You are blaming us as a industry and as a sector. We are having only 1.2 million. For the last 5 years.
How true is it that, not that I'm blaming your unit nor your industry, but I'm just repeating what the general public are saying. I'm not saying it, but you know, some people say it. And they say that these 200,000 people who have no opportunity to train in other higher education or in certain skills, they have no choice, so they become three-wheel drivers. But they also say that that's where all the bad things happen, that these people indulge in all sorts of vices and come to the attention of the police because they're selling whatever, bad things.
They are talking about the number of vehicles, 1.2 million. If you take the number of motorbikes, 4.2 million. Number of people in Sri Lanka, it's almost 22 million. All the bad things are done by the people, not the three-wheeler. The vehicle hasn't done anything, but they're just blaming the sector. All the faults and whatever the wrongdoing are doing by the people. Then they should blame the person, not the sector. If you take even for the religious also something like that, you can't blame the religion if the mistake was done by the person. You should blame the person. They are not doing like that. They just blame the three-wheeler. It is the easiest one because if we are having 1.2 million vehicles, if you go to the road and if you put a hand, if you raise the hand, the vehicle will stop. You can do whatever the crime taking that vehicle. But they are not blaming for the motorbikes. There is about 4.2 million motorbikes.
Fair point, a good point actually, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. But I want to ask you, is a professional driver, three-wheel driver, now recognized by the Act as being part of the National Transport Solution. Do you get angry? Do you get annoyed when people say, three-wheel car ek? Do you get angry about that?
No, sir. I am not getting angry because for the policeman they are saying police car. For the three-wheeler driver they are saying three-wheel car. For the judge what are they saying? Nadu car. But if you are saying Nadu car in outside, but if you go to the courts you have to bow him.
You have to bow.
If you are not doing that, you will be end up in the jail. But it's better to be a three-wheel car than the badu car and kudu car. That's the answer for that question, sir.
I like the answer. Thank you very much. There's another thing that I want to ask you. When I drive around,
Yes, sir.
I always, it's a sore point. When I drive around, I get very angry because most of the time when I see the traffic police, most of the time, they're always stopped a three-wheeler.
Yes, sir.
And I'm wondering how much of that is a valid stop and search, and how much of that is to do with corruption.
Almost 90% is corruption. The thing is, we are agreed, we have to obey the road rules. It should be applicable to all all type of vehicles, not only for the three-wheelers and motorbikes.
Right.
The law should be applicable for the all type of vehicles, but the most of the time in the road, the policeman is just stopping the three-wheelers and motorbike. When they are stopping, the driver has to get down and come near to the policeman. But if the policeman suddenly, sometimes if they stop a car, they will just move to the driver and ask for the whatever the fault they has done. They will move near the driver, but driver is not getting down and come to near them. That's a difference in Sri Lanka. It should be changed, and the attitude should be changed from the police department.
So what you're saying is that it's an unequal treatment.
Definitely, sir.
Out of balance.
Definitely, sir.
Now that's out of point, out of track.
Yeah, out of track. The thing is, we are not going to change the police. No, we can't change it because it was almost 150 years old department.
Yeah.
We are just still young. We are 46 years old, our sector. We just try to get professional. We are just want to be a professional as much as possible to.
At what level of training do you hope that your professional drivers will reach, like an NVQ?
Yeah, definitely, because we have made a suggestion, and even in the Ranil Wickremesinghe manifesto they has mentioned, we have to ask them, we have already asked them, they will grant us the NVQ level 4, but we have to fulfill some paper qualification and everything.
Right.
For that, from the NVQ level 4, we can go upwards as a professional drivers, not only in the driving sector, even in the other sectors also, sir. Because for the last month I had done electrical course in VTA.
Okay.
For about 1 month they had given a crash course for the three-wheeler drivers. We will hope that government will having more kind of courses for the drivers. Then sometimes in the future we may move to the
and
some
of course
other sectors.
all of this costs money. The government is investing money.
Yes.
And you're happy about that?
Yeah, definitely, because they are developing not the sector means not the vehicle, they are developing the people.
Okay.
The person.
Wonderful. I also wanted to ask you, what about electric vehicles?
The thing is, we had a conversion in 2014 from a company till 2016. In 2016, we brought a brand new Chinese electrical three-wheeler. The battery was ran out within 6 months. The depreciation was about 40%. Presently, there are so many companies introducing electric vehicles, and UNDP also gave some grant for about 200 vehicles to convert. They are saying that those companies, there are two different of opinion in there. One company is saying their battery will last 1500 circle. Another company is saying their battery will last around 3000 circle. But they are not talking about the depreciations. Usually for the 1500 circle battery was depreciation is 6% per month. That means if the end of year it will be almost 60% depreciation. Then who is going to guarantee that battery? That battery cost is presently is around 385,000. They are saying this is okay. We are accepting. We have to move for the future. It's okay, but you can't in the overnight. Within 2 years, you can't change the whole sector.
It's like a bit like the fertilizer policy from 2 years
You
ago.
can't do like that. But if you take as Dr. Sugata Pala from Morato University, their suggestion is the electrification should be done to the buses first of all, because they are transporting more people, then they have a limited distance to the run, then they have the point to point area to recharge their buses, and we are suggesting it's okay, but you have to give some structural changes to make that one. In overnight, within 2 years, you can't change the whole thing.
5,000 members
Yes, sir.
in your union. How many people depend on those 5?
Usually in a family we are saying about 5 people are depend on them.
Right.
Minimum, that is a
Right.
minimum amount, sir. We are saying.
So that's a fair amount of voters.
Definitely, if you take as a sector,
Yeah.
we have about 1 million three-wheelers.
Yeah.
If you take a 5% per vehicle, mean that is the almost 50 million, sorry, 5 million
Yeah.
electorate. That is almost 20% of
Yes, point taken.
Yes.
So a big market.
crunch, yes.
And as we come towards the end of this very interesting program, and we are, of course, in discussion with Mr. Rahuman Palli, Secretary of the All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Union, and who's been very kind to come here, taken time off. But the only good thing is, while he's here, the police aren't stopping him. But I'd like to ask you, Mr. Rahuman Palli, who is the most famous passenger that you have taken in your three-wheeler?
Mr. David Pierce.
And how appropriate is that, the godfather of the
three-wheelers, yes, sir.
Indeed. I'm terribly indebted to you for coming here and talking to us. It's a whole new insight. And that's what we do here on the Turning Point on High Pahara, Turning Point for ITN Sri Lanka. If you want to send us your questions, just send it by SMS or WhatsApp, 0772 300 305, and we'll take it up. And coming up this week are several important figures, all who have important messages to tell you. And do watch our channels and our trailers. We'll show you who those people are, exclusively actually, on ITN Sri Lanka. And that's the way it was. Take care. Thank you very much, Mr. Rahuman Palli.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and take care, and bless you all.